Everybody, I'm back, and guess what? I got a name. You voted. We did a poll, and we had a bunch of ideas like barcode. We had sidebar talks, which I thought was really cool. We had just a bunch of really good names. Raise the bar, somebody threw out there. I thought that was pretty cool. But we've settled on a name. It's going to be Bar Talks. And I like it. It's like, where do you have candid conversations at sometimes? The bar, right? My name is William Barr. So, Bar Talks, it's like we're going to have Bar Talks with Ashley, Bar Talks with Donnie, Bar Talks with CEO of so and so. So, I like it. I'm settling on it. So, now this segment, this podcast, this show that I do is going to be called Bar Talks. Thanks, guys, for participating and voting. Over 30 people voted on it, which I think is really cool. So, Bar Talks it is, guys. Thanks for being a part of creating this with me. And guess what? I'm back with another interview. Bar Talks this time with Ashley. Ashley is so amazing. If you don't know Ashley nicely, she is our director of customer success here at Guardz. She leads a team. She's really helped define that team. Behind Mike Hudson, who is just, if you don't know Mike Hudson, like he is literally like from ConnectWise, was there for a long time. He helped really be the pillar of what Guard's customer success looks like today. And Ashley has taken that mantle and just like really like just push the limits to what customer success can do. And so you're going to love this conversation with her that I have. We do an interview and I ask the questions, right? And so please take a listen, drop a comment in the comment section, and tell Ashley what's up. I did do a teaser last week. A lot of you guys, already saw, just how good the conversation is. So please listen, please participate, and look forward to the next interview. Thanks. Hey Ashley, thank you for being here. I'm super excited that we get to do this. I've had a lot of people on. I've had Sandy on as well, and I've had a lot of executives on. I really wanted to meet with the directors, especially you. You are the director of customer success. And I want you to introduce yourself, please. Let everybody know kind of more about who you are and your role.
Yeah, thanks for having me, firstly. Excited to do a little interview here. I don't get asked to do that very often, so this is a unique experience for me as well. As you mentioned, I'm Ashley. I work in the customer success team here at Guards. I lead the team there. The role that I'm in is really a blend. So no 2 days are the same, kind of in that strategic role where I'm working on customer success operations, looking at data, setting the direction for the team, working with other teams like product, engineering, support, leadership, of course, to talk about the health of our customers and where we should go. And then on the flip side of that, I'm also meeting with customers all the time, right? So I actually still help customers when it comes to onboarding, enablement, adoption, all of that fun stuff. So I'm still very in touch with the MSP community. And then, of course, my team, which I get a lot of fulfillment from, just in terms of like being able to coach them and train them and help them be better, not only at Guards, but in their careers. I would say one of there's a couple unique things about our team at Guards, but firstly, we give unlimited access to our customers, right? So there's no sort of like gatekeeping or cap on onboarding hours or extra charges or anything like that for professional services or training. So we really do spend a lot of time working with our customers and trying to help them be successful, and really break down those barriers to do so. And then second to that, our team is also responsible for the full life cycle of the customer. So from the moment they sign on with us until the day they leave, hopefully they don't, but it happens, they will work with us. So when we say you're our main point of contact, we take that to heart, and we really nurture that relationship from day one to the end.
Would
Uh,
would you say would you say that's a little different? Like most customer success roles, it's, almost a TAM type situation where I feel like at Guards we're doing some sort of professional services mixed with customer success, where it's like, hey, it's not just I'm here to help you have success, but I'm also your implementation. I'm also these other things. Like what outside of obviously Guardz is doing it for free, like you said, like we're giving them this out these manpower hours. What else is the difference between maybe customer success at Guardz versus somewhere else?
Yeah, so in a lot of organizations, including ones that I've worked at, there's a lot of silos between different functions. So you have your account manager who's responsible for like the commercial discussions, contracts, renewals. You have your implementation team, the person who's doing your onboarding, and then you have your customer success or technical account manager. Those two roles are pretty much the same, depending on where you work. They just call them different things. Who is supposed to help you, kind of guide you through, all of the product updates, making sure you know how to, what's on the roadmap, you know how to use the product successfully, the enablement material, that kind of stuff, or adoption. And here at Guardz, we're pretty much all of that in one. And the reason why we did that was really to break down those silos, right? To have an opportunity to say, hey, you have one person that you're going to contact, and they're going to kind of guide you through the whole process. And you form that relationship early and, continue to strengthen it throughout your whole relationship. I think it simplifies the process. And that theme is continuous at Guardz, right? Like simplifying
Yep. One
everything.
dashboard, one customer.
Exactly, exactly.
How could you tell us a little bit about your journey, like in your career? Like how did you land at Guardz? Do you mind sharing that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it definitely wasn't a straight line. I went to college for psychology and education, actually. I think for me, it was like I knew I wanted to understand people better. I knew I liked talking, and I liked helping people. And so those kind of things led me into hospitality. I worked in the service industry for quite some time. I loved how fast paced it was. I loved creating these like memorable experiences and kind of being a part of that magic. What I didn't love was nights, weekends, holidays, all of those are gone. And so about 15 years ago, I switched up and moved into the SaaS world, where I've stayed since then. And really, I think I've worked my way up in various roles, but all of them have had a flavor of customer success. It just wasn't called that back then. I think the term customer success started to come around maybe 10 years ago, but it's always been a blend for me of relationship building, training, education, support as well. And that has led me to where I am today. Now, finding Guardz, maybe we'll go back about 5 years or so. That's when I started working in the MSP space. I worked with a business intelligence tool, PSA tools, so kind of more on the business side of things, less on the technical.
Mhm.
And, I kind of fell in love with the MSP space. It's so down to earth and humble. The people you meet are like mom and pop shops, legacy builders. It's just a different vibe in comparison to some other spaces. And technology is so fast paced. So it kind of brought me back to my love of, never having a dull moment in your day. And I was working in a kind of a corporate space for a while. I won't name names, but I felt like I was ready to kind of have more of this like strategic role where my voice is heard a little bit more, where I can make a bigger impact. And I started flirting with the idea of leaving. I hadn't really decided, and I met someone from Guardz, and I kind of fell in love with the people. Um, at the time, I said it felt like kismet, or like this is meant to be. Like I'm supposed to be at this company and really bring that value. And I'm here a year later, and I still believe that the people brought me here. The people have kept me here. I see like the grit and the hunger that I have and that I was kind of missing in all of my colleagues as well. So,
That's awesome. That's awesome. How would you say your background then has shaped your ability to be successful in a director of customer success role? I mean, education, psychology, those, I feel like those kind of translate a little bit, no?
yeah, I think so. I mean, really, again, going back to like that people or human first approach, right? I have spent my career or life really getting to know people and talking to people and coming from a place of empathy and understanding and practicality, right? So all of those things, whether it was in a restaurant or some other place in hospitality or in support, I think all of that's really molded me into customer success. And then, at Guardz, I think really it's just the MSP knowledge. I always tell people in our company, like, if no one in this company is going to know the MSP space better than customer success, because we've worked with MSPs for so long. And so we really bring that value to the company and being able to make sure that we can support and shape the direction of the product with MSPs like top of mind, if that makes sense.
No, it does. I mean, not only no, you guys have such a great symbiotic relationship between product, even marketing and sales, right? Like there's been times I've worked with you on a deal, right? And so bringing you in early and having you show a customer kind of like the value of what they will receive and kind of setting the expectation of the partnership, not just the transaction that they're partaking in. And so like if you how do you, as director of customer success, though, measure success today for your team across the hundreds of MSPs that you're dealing with? How do you measure success?
Yeah, yeah. And one of the things that I wanted to say, kind of like going back to background, that actually
Yeah.
surprised me,
Mm,
to your point of calling us in early.
mm,
I thought when I joined Guardz, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have my work cut out for me from a technical standpoint.
mm,
But it's actually the business side where our MSPs are really looking to us for
mm.
knowledge, right? Like, how do
Right.
I incorporate cybersecurity into my stack? I want to
Yeah.
start selling cyber services, and I'm not
Mm,
really sure how to go about that. How do I make this, how can I translate this to an SMB in a way that they understand?
mm,
So that has been something that I was pleasantly surprised about, because I'm like, huh, it turns out I actually have a lot of business knowledge,
mm,
less on the technical side. But
mm.
it turns out the MSPs are like, yeah, we don't need you for the technical stuff. We need you for
Right.
the business stuff, right?
Good. That's so good.
So
Not something I would have expected either. Like, but it is a conversation that I'm constantly having. They want to know, how do I price cards? How do I go to my customers and say, hey, you also need to spend money on this, right?
yeah, yeah. And it's a very nuanced conversation that can't be answered with a do this, right?
Mhm.
Oh my goodness, did my lights go out? Let's see. I'm
Yeah,
in
you
a
got
I'm in a
there's some
co-working
clap
space.
on,
There we
clap
go. There we
off
go.
lights. It's like you clapped off the light. That was cool.
Yes, yes. Co-working space was like, oh nope, you're done here.
Boom! You did like
Um,
this, and the light went. It was cool though.
yeah. But
Uh,
going back to your question about success and just
mm,
dealing with, so many hundreds of MSPs, because our team is responsible for hundreds. For me, it's a blend of data, qualitative, quantitative data, right? So we want to look at platform usage. We want to look at progression through the onboarding process, incident resolution times, engagement levels. And we also want to tie that into relationship metrics, right? So these are things that the success team is actively tracking. How do we feel about the customer? What is their engagement style or preference? And we want to put that together to form a success plan, right? So there's not really a one size fits all. What works for one MSP is not going to work with another. But we want to take those data points, put it together, and come up with these success plans that are hopefully repeatable, right? So we want to have at least a framework for that. But that's where the human element really comes into play, right? We're taking this data, that's how we're scalable. And then now we're taking some human thought into how we do those processes.
that's so good. That's so good. I'm really impressed by the amount of like just the amount of conversations you guys can have and like how you can pull that and translate that to product and translate that to sales. Um, if what is something in your mind, like, could you say, sorry, I think my internet connection. Okay, so
You're here, you're here.
I just got like a big glaring, your internet connection's unstable. Okay. So
Yeah, you broke up for like a second, but I think I got in at the right moment. So
okay, okay. How can you translate complex cybersecurity to an MSP? Like when an MSP is talking to you, I want to get into security, right? We deal with a lot of emerging MSPs sometimes, and they want to tell you they might do a lot of managed IT work, like, and you have a lot of knowledge when it comes to business and when it comes to those things. How do you have that conversation?
yeah, I think there's a couple things that are important to keep in mind here. One, cybersecurity, at the end of the day, the MSP is the technology expert for their small businesses. They need to come from a place of, I am your strategic advisor. I know technology, I know cybersecurity, and that's why you're going to trust me with this service. So for me, it's all about how they do their value prop, and their value prop is themselves. So understanding what value they bring to the table and what skills they actually have are very important. Second to that is Guardz, right? Because Guardz is all about simplicity, right? Making cybersecurity easy to use, connecting those dots, helping them understand through playbooks, through simple tasks that make sense, what they actually need to do in those moments. So I
Right.
think those kind of like plain English alerts or those easy to follow playbooks is going to help an MSP and even like a level one tech use Guards and actually bring some value right away, right? So they can easily use this tool. I think one of the things that Donnie always says, someone from our team, our product team, he always mentions like your tools are only as good as you can manage them. And I think that is so true. You can have these really complex tools, but if you don't know how to manage them easily or translate it in a way that's going to tell a compelling story to your customer base,
Mhm.
it's not as useful. And then,
Yeah.
of course, as an add-on to that, if they're on our ultimate plan, we have MDR services and we have an actual pair or group of people that have eyes on the screen 24/7. And there are times where I say, hey, this MSP needs some help on what to do
That kind of
now.
leads, you're leading into my next
Oh,
question.
nice, nice. Okay,
I
what's the
wanna,
next one?
that's a good little segue. My question is gonna be, what role does customer success play in an incident response, right? Because like you said, we have MDR, we have SOC now. What do you guys do for an MSP?
For me, I think our biggest role is being the calm in the storm, right? When an incident happens, I mean, we do have the triage services, so hopefully we're alerting earlier than not, but we want to bring that calm, right? That clarity, what to do first, what to do second, what to do next, and really guiding them through that process. Our MDR team is phenomenal. They reach out proactively and they work directly with the MSP on the issue. But if for some reason, that relationship isn't going very well, maybe the MSP didn't pick up, we're going to hop in early, right? Because we want to make sure that the MSP knows they're not alone and we want to help them stay on top of this incident all the way through. And then, of course, there's the post incident review. At that point, we want to back up a little bit. They have a lot to do. They don't need to be worried about us and our feelings or anything like that. But we want to go over it on afterwards, right? Let's do some sort of post incident review and let's turn this into a learning opportunity, maybe a sales opportunity, whatever that looks like, and maybe strengthening their own posture, right? Like, what could you have done, or where could this have been prevented? And then allowing them to take that back to their customer and be that
That's
strategic advisor.
That's good. That's great. How do you, but going kind of back to customer success and your exact role, like how do you obviously you said before you measure success with customer engagement. How do you keep a customer engaged into the platform?
So there's a couple things that I think need to happen here. One, we know that not everybody wants to meet with us, and that's okay. We have to be flexible. Everybody is different. And so what we want to do is have frequent value added touch points. And at the same time, we want to have some or invest in scalable self serve options, right? So we want a really robust documentation center, We want to build training videos and training courses. That's kind of a work in progress right now. But that's things that we want to build. So for those that are not really into the meeting with us kind of thing, we still give them an avenue for success that's completely self driven. But outside of that, we have frequent touch points. We have goals on how often we engage with our customers. So we really drive that relationship on our side and bringing value. Like I tell my team all the time, if you don't have a value add in this moment, don't reach out. Don't reach out to reach out. Don't reach out to check in. Every single time that you reach out, you need to bring value and think about how you can bring value to that conversation because MSPs are busy, right? So if they're going to meet with us, we want it to be a high value add. And I think they kind of pick up on that and realize, hey, I want to meet with this person because they're going to bring me good information. They're going to bring me business outcomes, right? They're going to be able to take these features and turn it into some business outcome for myself. So
It's very good. That's very good. Yeah, I did some account management at Kaseya, and that was something that was preached amongst our team was, if you're reaching out, you only get so many times where they're going to see your email and your call, and they're going to be like, jump at opening it and listen and picking up the phone. And if you're not bringing them value, they can sense that you're wasting their time or that you're just trying to sell them something. The next
yeah,
time email goes in, it's not going to get clicked on, at least not right away.
yeah.
Um,
Gone are the days of building these like long decks and going over their product usage and some QBR. I think we found that most people are like, yeah, I know how to use the platform. Like, let's move along, right? So,
yeah, yeah. I feel like also our platform is like the Apple or the iPhone of security. It's so easy for you to log in and like it's self-explanatory. The majority of
yeah,
most
yeah.
people. Okay, so, but doesn't mean that people don't struggle. So let's say there is a struggling MSP. I'm sure there has been one. Can you give us a success story? Like, have you guys turned a struggling MSP into a great guard success story?
Yeah, and honestly, I have several, but
Okay.
I think there's still like a common theme across them. So, I'll kind of share this in a bit more generic fashion. But I always think about one specific partner that stands out because they kind of came to us in a moment of crisis about a security incident, obviously feeling really overwhelmed. And at the time, it was something that was out of scope. It was not part of like the plan that they were on. But we were still very willing to hop in and say, listen, this isn't something that's in scope for your current plan, but let's involve our MDR team. Let's get on a call. Let's see what they find out. And we did. So we investigated the incident. We provided a full report, including like what they should be doing, what they should do next. We met with the MDR team and this customer to give some actionable advice on, how to kind of prevent this after. So, there was no sales pitch involved. We weren't like, hey, you have to kind of move to a different plan now. It was just like, we want to be there for you. We want to go above and beyond in this moment, regardless of kind of what plan you are, because we're a security product at the end of the day and we care about the security, right? So I think that experience just built a really strong foundation of trust with them. And since then, they are super active, right? They give us feedback. They're part of our beta programs. They have since moved to the ultimate plan, but that really wasn't the goal at the time. It was more about helping them in that moment. And
Mhm.
months later, it kind of evolved to them really seeing the value. And we
Mhm.
see that all the time, right? Like our research team is phenomenal. They're constantly
Yeah.
researching new incidents that we should bring into the
Mhm.
platform. And if they find something that looks risky, they bring it to my attention, regardless of what plan type they're on. They say,
Wow.
hey, this is something that we should be talking to this customer about, and we do.
I've had them do that with a prospect I have on trial.
Oh wow, okay, even a prospect, huh?
Yeah, it was a prospect, and they're on the ultimate trial. They've been using it for 2 months. I've given them a pretty long trial, um, and found some password spray attacks happening. you know, and was able to get a report out to the customer and give them some information. And so, yeah, I just that team and what they do, it's pretty special. And I think that's something I love about Guards is the white glove service, is the going above and beyond, is the like we it's not like you're defined and put here in this bucket until you give us more money. It's like, no,
Exactly. Yeah.
we
Yeah.
have resources, we will assist. And then we could talk about afterwards whether or not you see the value and want to move to a new plan. And so I love that. That's pretty special.
Yeah. Yeah. We really show up when it matters, and that is something as a company that we do. And so the success team is a reflection of that, right? Showing up when it matters, um, across the board, no matter what.
Yeah. Okay. So with innovation happening in the platform, with AI becoming this big,
Buzzword.
yeah, buzzword, hot topic,
Yeah.
headline. And Guards is implementing AI, right? It's not just
Hmm.
a buzzword. It is practical things that we're doing with AI. How do you continue to grow and enhance the human experience while using AI in the platform?
Yeah, and I say buzzword because it's a challenge to do that. It's a challenge to make people realize that the way our approach to AI is not like other companies, because right now in the industry it's like everyone's
Mm-hmm.
using it. But there's a difference between how it's used, how much it's used. But I think for us, guards and customer success, we really feel like AI should augment and support the human experience, but not replace it, right? So the AI element is going to help those humans be smarter, faster, handle some routine stuff, alerting, reporting, that kind of stuff. But the real value of customer success and guards, our MDR team, is the human side, right? The strategy, the relationship building, the hands-on training, and of course empathy, right? The understanding you have a difficult situation or difficult job, you wear many hats, and always leading with empathy. So I think for us, that balance of automation with that human experience is remembering that it's human led and AI augmented, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. I love that. And that relationship building is what I believe it's the people that are going to take guards to that next level. And that's what Doris says all the time. It's about the having not just the right product, but the right people behind the.
Hmm.
All right. So as we're wrapping up, tell me what is a tool right now in your workflow that you guys can't live without? Like, what is something that helps you guys be super successful today?
To Tango is a big one for us. It's a customer success tool. So this is what helps us be data driven. It's what helps us scale efficiently. So we use it to automate like setting tasks, kind of like triggers, like, hey, this person did this, or their health score looks like this. We do use it for some campaigning as well, meaning like outreach and starting some conversations there. But of course, human led always, right? But I don't know if we could do our job without a customer success tool.
Right, right. Okay. Another one. What's a big misconception of customer success that people have? Does anybody come to the call and expect you to like do more than, you or something outside of your role?
Actually, no. And I think the reason for that is because we go above and beyond all the time. If anything, they're typically really impressed with how much we bring to the table, because we can provide that technical training along with some of that like strategic, like, I don't want to say leadership, but like guidance in a way. But I think with customer success, there are some misconceptions, right? I think you'll hear a lot of like, oh, the main metric you should track is NPS. Definitely not so true, right? We're looking at business outcomes and building objectives and success plans for them. So that's a really big misconception, just generally speaking. From our customers, though, maybe the blend or the mix between support, which is more reactive in nature, and success, which is proactive in nature, that would probably be a second one.
Okay, that makes sense. I like that. Okay, and the last question. If there's an MSP that's watching, I'm pretty sure there is, what is one piece of customer success advice that you can give an MSP that might be considering using Guards or is using Guards today?
That's a good one. So I would say a piece of advice. I mean, if they're using guards today, not necessarily like customer success for their own business. Is that, am I understanding that
Yeah,
correctly?
like based off, let's say one of the questions that you might be getting consistently from an MSP that you guys work with. If you were like you said, you guys sometimes get a lot of maybe business questions like how much should I sell guards for? Like how do I have a conversation about security with one of my customers? Um, Taking all of the great conversations you've had with MSPs, what's one tidbit that you could probably share with a prospect or a customer today?
Yeah, yeah. I think for me, it's definitely a nuanced conversation. It's hard to give like there is success doesn't look the same for every single MSP. And so, even asking questions like that, I try to steer them away from it.
Mm,
Our kind of like one thing I always say, never give bad advice, right? So we never want to give someone bad advice, put them in the wrong or
mm,
steer them in the wrong direction. And so for me, I want to make sure that they understand those types of things are very, very nuanced. And, we want to work together to work out what works best for you, right? So consistency, transparency, helping them build something and really just kind of like look at things holistically is going to be the way to go, right? Because we never want to say do this or do that without having like that kind of conversation, right? If that makes sense.
No, that makes huge sense. Honestly, I respect that more than you just saying, a quick like tidbit that someone could try to like. It's no, every conversation is nuanced. Every conversation is, what works for you might not work for the next person. And that just goes to show that our customer success isn't cookie cutter. It is built for the MSP.
Yeah, yeah. And I used to make a joke back in my other company, old days, because every single conversation that we would have would almost always start off with, well, I'm an MSP, but I'm not doing things like other MSPs. And
Mhm.
so, everyone says they're not doing things like the
I've
rest
heard
of the
that a lot.
team. Yeah, and
Mhm.
so it's like, well, it's because everyone does things a little bit differently. Even something like pricing. Um, where you're at, what is your services that you offer. One MSP can offer completely different services from the next, right? So that's always something we want to keep in mind. But I will say pricing and packaging, that comes up a lot. And one of the things that I talk a lot about with our customers is kind of breaking out the way that they think of pricing, right? So they have their product costs. Here are all the tools that I need to do my business. And I want to put a gross margin on that, and they should. But then they also have to think about the service cost, right? The manpower it's going to take to use not only these tools but provide the service to their customers. And what is that labor cost, right? What should they be expecting in terms of labor? And then apply a gross margin on that as well, right? So when they think of pricing, it's a mix of a blended, if you will, between the tools that they're using and the people that are providing those services that they offer. And then what does that look like? And of course, don't forget keeping the lights on, right?
Right.
Uh, the general expenses that they're going to have, and making sure that they think holistically about that price. There's a lot of great calculators out there too that help MSPs properly price their service. But I try to take them out of the mindset of like, oh, I purchased guards. What should I resell it as? Which is perfectly fine if you're a reseller. But if you're not and you're providing a service, it's like, don't forget about those people who are going to be working the tool and the hours that you're going to spend on it, because you're going to find that that's your biggest expense.
Right, right. And then the goal is for you to find the value add of guards, which is we're going to increase your operational efficiency and help you save.
Exactly. Yeah, the benefit of guards is not only just, hey, I can take someone who's maybe level one or newer and they can use this product because it's simple, it's easy to use. We really make some kind of like clear out of the chaos. We give actionable playbooks. We have an MDR team that guides you. So hopefully the resources themselves are a little bit less expensive, but the time saving, right? When you connect dots, when you have actionable insights, you don't need to spend as much time kind of filtering through it all, and you're going to save time, which means hopefully less overhead, less cost, where you can still bring some real value to your customers.
Man, well, this is a great conversation, Ashley. I felt like I got great value. I'm hoping anybody listening got great value. I really appreciate you joining today.
I alluded early on that I like to talk, so I hope I didn't talk too much and talk your ear off. But I do want to say, I have an open door policy, whether it's LinkedIn or Guards or just personal life, and I'm always up for a conversation with anyone internally or MSPs out there in the world. So, open door. Feel free to message me. I'm happy to give advice, whether it's related to guards specifically or just MSP space in general or share resources. I'm here.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, absolutely.